Hello, my name is Benjamin Banducci, and today I'm going to discuss Arizona's initiatives and referendum processes based on their constitution. So, the Arizona Initiative referendum process is something that empowers citizens to directly influence state law and is a cornerstone of direct democracy. This helps ensure the power stays with the people and their voice matters. And again, they're not just being overpowered by big business or the political or the politicians who are in office. So we're going to cover a few definitions. The first definition is the definition of an initiative. An initiative is a process that allows voters to propose new laws or amend existing ones by gathering signatures. And there are two types of initiatives. The first one is a statutory initiative. This kind of initiative proposes change to a state law. The other initiative is a constitutional initiative. This one, on the other hand, seeks to amend the state's constitution. So the first one, it just wants to change a law. The second one wants to change the constitution and amend it. Next definition we're going to look at is for a referendum. A referendum is a method by which voters can approve or reject laws passed by their legislators. So if the legislators in Arizona decide to pass a law, the people have a choice whether or not they want it to be passed or if they want it to be vetoed. So there's two types of these as well. The first is a legislative referendum, and this is referred by the legislators, and then a popular referendum. This one is initiated by the citizens to challenge specific laws. So again, it empowers the people to be able to either accept or challenge laws are put before them. And both of these processes take some effort to create. So we're going to look at how they are created. First, initiatives. If an initiative is going to begin, the first step that has to be done is there has to be a file for an application and they have to receive a serial number with the Secretary of State in Arizona. After this initial part of the process, their job is to gather signatures. So 10% of voters who are registered in Arizona need to vote in favor of an initiative or for it to be a statutory measure and 15% for a constitutional amendment. After this process is done and they received either the 10 or 15% of votes respectively, they have to submit the petition at least 4 months before the next general election. The 10 and 15% of voters signing the petition does not immediately mean that something is either vetoed or accepted. It just makes sure it ends up on the next ballot for the general election so the state as a whole can make a decision so everybody's voice can be heard. Next, for referendum. For a referendum, similar to initiatives, they initially need to file with the state and they need to receive a serial number based on the application. And the different part is they only need to obtain 5% of voter signatures to challenge a law. And again, that 5% isn't enough to veto it because after that, they need to submit a petition within 90 days after the legislators adjourn. So they need the 5% and they need to submit the petition within the reasonable time frame. And then it will have the opportunity, then the people have the opportunity to either accept or veto, depending on legislators' decisions. So next, we're just going to compare and contrast initiatives and referendums a little bit. So the first part is we're just going to talk about the basic origin of them. An initiative is something the citizens and the people propose, and they can amend the laws or constitutions, while referendums are citizens challenging existing laws. We talked a little bit about the percentages for signatures to begin these processes. For the initiatives, it was 10% for statutory and 15% for constitutional. It's a little bit easier for a referendum, only needing 5%, so a little bit less. So for timing, for initiative, this needs to be done with before a general election so it can be put on the ballot. Referendums, it just needs to be within 90 days of post-legislator adjournment. So within a reasonable time frame of a law being passed. They can't wait years. It has to be done within a reasonable time frame. And the purpose of initiatives is to enact or amend laws, while the purpose of a referendum is to either approve or reject them. There are some pros and cons to these things. The first, we're just going to talk about the pros. This really enhances citizen participation and involvement in their government and empowers them to have a voice. It serves as a check on legislative power as well, because again, the legislators can't just do anything without expecting the people to just have a stand against it. So they can't do anything unjust because the people will do the referendum and ultimately protect their voice and their rights. And again, it just encourages participation among citizens. The cons are there could be a high signature requirement. It can be difficult for people to pass because there's a small group of people who feel strongly about a referendum or a initiative. They might not have the ability and to do that, or maybe with a 5% for referendum, too many things can be challenged and can cause a gridlock in the government and not allow anything to actually get done. So this all works within direct democracy in the Arizona Constitution. And this reserves in the direct democracy in the Arizona Constitution reserves the power of initiative and referendum to the people, ensuring that citizens have a direct role in lawmaking. This section just its main thing is allows citizens to have a voice and helps prevent against corruption from political leaders or big business. And there's been some recent developments in activity with initiatives and referendums. Recently, in 2024, Prop 134 was proposed and ultimately struck down. And the state of Arizona was actually trying to raise the amount of signatures needed and raise the percentage of signatures needed for people to propose initiatives and referendums. Ultimately, the people saw this as the government trying to slowly take away their right to challenge them, so they voted against it. So, in conclusion, the initiative and referendum process helps foster direct democracy as stated in the Arizona Constitution and helps the Arizona Constitution adapt to the present time. Because as a society, we advance, laws become outdated, and new legislation can become necessary. For example, when the initial Arizona Constitution was written, there weren't things like AI and data privacy as concerns. So there might need to be new policy to adjust to our new developing society. And ultimately, again, this Constitution reflects the progressive era that it was written in, helping just give power to the people. And ultimately, it encourages people to participate in their local government. So ultimately, the initiatives and referendum process are both very positive things because it allows for people to be involved and it doesn't allow politicians and big business to take advantage of their citizens. Thank you so much for watching and hope you have a good day.